Hello and welcome to The Canadian Wants to Know. On this episode, I'm speaking to a factory manager and real estate investor in the city of Bremen. As a foreigner myself, I wanted to speak to someone who has become successful in this country even though they were not born here. What is the advice that he can give me so that I can become a better businessman in Germany? Also, let's go. I'm in the city of Bremen with
Ali Karaman.
He is a factory manager and real estate investor, and he is going to give me some advice and tips on how I can make it as a foreigner in Germany. So my first question is, what brought you to Germany?
Yeah, I grew up in Turkey. I studied in Ankara, and after graduate, I want to learn and I want to go abroad and to learn new language, new culture, especially European culture. Because of it, I decided to come to Germany, and I start with first of all my language school, a very intensive course. I was curious to learn a new culture, new language, new ways, new people, new face. Because of it, I want to come to Germany. And I think it was a good decision.
Yeah, I think so. Can you tell me about your first professional experience in Germany? How were you able to develop trust with your superiors?
After my graduate, I got a job, the biggest food manufacturer company in the world, as a process engineer, and I was responsible to optimize the process and to train the line operators and optimize some recipes. And because of my limitation with German language, I tried to find another solution that my managers or employees didn't recognize or didn't find any deficit in my position. And because of it, I took my private camera in the production and I record all the process in each steps with my camera. And I prepare if I see the mistakes on the line in the process, I think I do a brainstorm and I think of some sustainable solution. And I present in the meetings what kind of mistakes we have in the process, in the production area. And I showed them not only the problems but also some solutions. It was very good because of it. They called me a cameraman Ali. And then I try to train the other people, other engineers or line operators in this area, problem-solving methodology. I learned lots from the trainings, international trainings in this company, and I coach the people. I lead big projects in this company, and I get another possibility to lead in production. When I start 2014 as a production manager, I was responsible for more than 100 employees. And then nowadays I'm a factory manager, and I'm responsible for all process and all KPIs. And what I want to say, if you have a limitation, you must find a solution. If you're born without legs, your arm gets stronger, because of it. For the young people, for all the people, if you have a limitation, you can find a solution and nobody see your limitation.
Exactly. So focus on what you have instead of focusing on what you don't have.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you have learned about German work culture?
The punctuality and reliability is the common attitude in this country.
Of course.
But what I learned in my career to spoke with the data, to collect the right data, to analyze them, and then you have one decision on if you have the correct data and if you can analyze with the methodology, with the right methodology, and you your decision is better than the other. Second thing, what I learned in Germany and I use in management day life very often, the feedback culture. The first feedback I couldn't analyze, I couldn't understand exactly what my manager wants from me. I finished the project, it was good, but he explained me in some topics I could present better, I couldn't show other solutions, additional solutions, and because of it I realized after many years later, this culture is very, very important. For example, if you have a good feedback from your videos, from your project, from your audience, you have an additional motivation to go further and do a new videos.
Exactly.
Because of
next
the
time
feedback,
I can do it better.
Yes, feedback is very important. It could happen that you say, but both of the party, both of the person, parties, they must understand what we want to achieve. What's our aim with this feedback?
Exactly.
You know? And I think it's very, very important in this country that they implement a feedback culture.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, after my presentation, my manager give me a feedback.
Exactly.
Or I can give all the time my employees our feedback, or my colleagues give me a feedback, and then I can go further. It's an additional package that can I do the next time better.
So what do you think has contributed most to your success in the business world here in Germany?
It was very clear for me at the beginning I should work harder, longer, smarter and more creatively than a German one. If you think about Bayern Munich, they bring a football player from Poland because he is the better than local, or he's effective player than the local one. Because it was normal in the professional environment that I show better solution, better way, and I was ready to work harder than or show the better result than local professional employees. The second thing, I believe in the continuous improvement, and in my life I try to better than all the time yesterday, and then small steps in the better direction. And if you think about the cars in 80s from Daimler, from BMW, and if you check the cars, they were strong, they were very comfortable, and if they don't believe in continuous improvement, if you compare the cars with 80s, you cannot compare. You cannot find any. They had 4 vehicles, not more. And if they stop in that time and they say that is the car what we can produce ever, that's the best one. If they don't believe in continuous improvement, they should stop, get better.
Exactly.
And because of it, I believe continuous improvement and problem-solving methodology. I don't want to produce problem, and I see the problems as an opportunity, and I try to use this opportunity in my life, in a professional life and in my private life. I think that was 2 things what bring me in this position.
What final piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to take that next step in their career?
I think it's very important to look at the phase of the career. At the beginning, the young professional, they should look first of all the lack of competency, and they should close this lack of competency as soon as possible. And then the further steps, we should see the problems as opportunity, and we should know the techniques about the problem solving, and we should be in the companies, in the organization, problem solver, not a problem.
Exactly.
And then all the time in your career, in private and professional life, believe in continuous improvement. That is very important.
So I need to improve myself a little bit each day, and then over time, there's going to be a big difference.
If you believe in continuous improvement, you are better than yesterday.
Exactly.
Because of it, in the future, you'll solve your problem. You believe in continuous improvement, and then now the daily stress what you have, it is only one step that you overcome, and the future is better than you.
Exactly.
Believe in that. It's very positive, a very good motivation for you.
I want to thank you for joining me on this
You're
interview.
welcome. You're welcome.
This has been very helpful for me, and I know that this advice is something that I can apply into my own business so that I can improve each day. We have one final question for the audience, and that question is, what are the qualities that a worker needs to be successful in Germany? You can leave your answers in the comment section below, and I would also request that you give me some feedback. I want to improve these videos. I want to do things better each day. So please leave me your feedback, your comments down below in the comment section. Also, bis nächstes Mal.